What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Sunday, December 19th. So in today's video, I want to give you a very big warning, but also want to address what's going on with the stimulus package, address what's going on with the supply chain, what is going to happen because of the Omicron variant, and I want to give you some daily news in between. First off, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully your weekend is going extremely well. If you can do me a favor and you enjoy these daily uploads, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Now, this morning, okay, here's what's happening. This morning, Senator Joe Manchin, he stated that he just can't, when in regards to this infrastructure bill at $1.75 trillion. He has been saying to reporters for the past few months that he is trying to negotiate with Democrats and get on board with a $1.75 trillion bill. However, this morning he said, and I quote, "If I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. This is a no on this legislation." Now, key word, I want to just explain this. This is a no on this legislation. Why did he say it like that? Now, it could just be because, he was just talking and he didn't really, plan what he was going to say. But Joe Manchin is a fairly, I'd say he's a pretty smart guy. He may do some dumb things, say some dumb things, but he's a very smart guy. My assumption is he is already planning on changing this entire bill, not only because of what he just said today, but because of what lawmakers have said over the past couple weeks, that they are expecting this bill is ultimately going to completely change. So that is my assessment of what he just said. Now, he also said that expanded child tax credit payments should run for a full 10 years, not 1 year. He doesn't want to see many changes to climate, which would actually hurt West Virginia. And this is pretty much what he was saying, is he can't go and tell the residents of West Virginia that he voted yes, when this is going to make a lot of them lose their jobs. So this was part of the reason there. He also wants to change paid family leave. He doesn't believe Medicare should be expanded at this time. First, he believes the program should be shored up. And there's many other issues as well. I'm not going to get into all of them in this video, but these issues that he has, we're going to start to see Joe Manchin and other Democrats start to work out their differences, and hopefully when they come back on January 10th, they will at least have some movement, and we could potentially get a quality bill done then. Now, when I say quality bill, there's a lot of stuff that was in this bill that shouldn't have been. There was not much for the American people outside of those with children, which is what many people were arguing about. So, as somebody with children, I thought that was great. But as somebody with children, I also thought, well, what about people that don't have children, that are still hurting because of this pandemic, which we are actually going back into? Second, what about those on Social Security that can't go to work, that are their health status is so severe that they don't want to go outside, they don't want to go work in a retail store or a grocery store because, well, they don't want to contract the virus either. So what about those people? There was nothing in this bill for them. Now, over the next few weeks, Senator Joe Manchin will have a lot of lawmakers calling him. He already knows that. Many have said that they will be addressing Senator Joe Manchin during their recess. And to determine what could possibly be in this bill, they're going to have to discuss this. And the main person to discuss this with is Senator Joe Manchin. Now, the other day, we saw, was it Charlemagne or somebody like that, did an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. And he asked, is it President Joe Manchin or President Joe Biden? And she pretty much attacked him, saying, no, it's President Joe Biden. But honestly, I think we can all agree, it has pretty much been the President Joe Manchin show. So who knows what's going to happen there. But the expectation at this time is that this bill is going to pass either in January or February. My guess is February is most likely, and here's the reason why. One thing I can tell you is that Senator Joe Manchin, he opposes this bill because he said he's worried about inflation. Well, in February, we should have a little bit more information on inflation. Is it going to come down, or are we going to see it keep going up? If it keeps going up, we will not pass a bill in February. Reports also indicate that we will have answers on the supply chain issues as well. And I want to address that really quick. What we are hearing is that as of Thursday, so a few days ago, that there were only 74 ships making their way into the twin ports in Long Beach and Los Angeles. That's actually fairly good. There were only 28 ships awaiting anchor though. So that was way down from the 86 that we saw just 3 weeks ago. So, according to port officials, they say that things are looking up. They are looking a little bit better, but they do say that this could create other issues if Omicron has anything to say about it. So let's address that. If the port experiences any breakthrough or any outbreak of Omicron, what they are saying is they expect these improvements to quickly retract. That's not what we want to see, especially if you're waiting on gifts or products. You see the shelves in grocery stores, they're still bare. They're still bare. It's sad to see, but that's what we're seeing at this point. And what's going to happen is people are going to start losing work. If the Omicron variant, we see an outbreak at these ports, people are going to be taking time off work. Okay? The supply chain issues will continue, and things could go back to where we were months ago, according to port officials. Now, let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about what we could see, because this is extremely important. If people start losing their jobs, right? They can't pay for their bills. And I'm not saying losing their jobs forever. I'm saying they start losing their jobs for, 2 to 3 weeks. What happens then? People can't pay their bills because you got to keep in mind, 50% of Americans work paycheck to paycheck. It doesn't matter where you're from in this country, you're probably working paycheck to paycheck. At least 1 out of every 2 of you. That's not a great statistic. So if somebody loses 2 weeks of work, that 2 weeks, they will not have it made up unless they're getting paid leave. And in many cases, Americans do not have 2 weeks of paid time off. They just don't have it. But here's something else I want to address. Regarding unemployment, one of the things that we saw last year, which was actually passed in March of 2021, was through the American Rescue Plan, was a provision that any unemployment income that you received in 2020, you would get up to a unemployment tax refund of up to $10,200. Well, a lot of people have been asking, is that also going to be included into the 2021 tax year? The answer is no. This was a provision that was only going to be in effect for 1 year. This was also something that many said we needed to reconsider and renegotiate because it should be included for 2021. That's this year. It hasn't been included. It was never put into the bill. Right now, the bill never even passed Congress. It wasn't even voted on. So this isn't going to happen. So if you were taking all of your unemployment income and not having the government take or the state take 10%, then you will most likely have to pay all of it back. Well, not your whole unemployment income, but whatever taxes that you are going to be due. So just keep that in mind. That's going to hurt a lot of people, but that is what's on the table as of right now. However, keep in mind, when the bill was passed, the American Rescue Plan was passed, it was passed in March. So that means January, February, March, 3 months. So if we see this bill passed in February, the talks could come back of, hey, what about the people that did claim unemployment? Should they be getting an unemployment tax refund because of the money that they paid into the system? The answer could be yes at that time, but we don't know. But let's get into some COVID news for today. We've got quite a bit. Here is where we're going to start. President Biden, according to reports this morning, he is going to address the nation on Tuesday to outline additional steps that he and his administration will be taking to combat the spread of the virus. He has vowed not to lock down, and he said he would not shut down our economy. However, experts say this could change if science dictates that we must do this to move forward. We also know that schools are already closing down. They are already moving to remote learning. We know businesses are switching back to working from home. Restaurants are closing their doors to indoor dining, and events are being canceled, or bigger events are actually being restricted somewhat to modify the amount of people that can actually be in the stadiums or events. We're also being told that President Biden is going to issue a stark warning to unvaccinated people. What this means, we don't know. We'll have to wait until Tuesday. But as soon as I get more information on this, I promise I will fill you in on the updates. We also know, according to multiple scientists, they say that most of the world's vaccines won't work. They will not prevent an infection from Omicron. This includes Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Some will help, but they will not 100% prevent the infection. In the Netherlands, they are imposing new strict lockdowns. We know Dr. Anthony Fauci says Omicron is not something to be reckoned with. A CNN medical analyst says there's a tsunami coming, and this Omicron variant is extraordinarily contagious. It's as contagious as the measles, and that's about the most contagious virus that we've seen. That's not good news there. And the National Institutes of Health Director, Francis Collins, who actually retires this weekend, he says, I know people are tired of this. I'm tired of it too, believe me. But we cannot afford to let down our guard. And he goes on to say that he would not be surprised if we see 1 million cases per day. Now remember the other day when I gave you that scenario, that what if there's 100,000 COVID cases, but they're all Delta, and we see a 10% hospitalization rate? That's 10,000 people. But what if we saw 1 million cases, but only 2%, there's a 2% hospitalization rate? If we see 1 million cases and a 2% hospitalization rate, that's 20,000 people. That's double what Delta was doing. But it's because of the amount of COVID cases. And he's saying that he's not going to be surprised if we see 1 million cases per day. That's a lot of cases. That's a lot. Yeah, I think we're at like 121,000 cases right now. That's a 7-day average. 7 days ago, I believe we're at 85,000. So we're already jumping up a little bit. And I want to leave you with this before you go. This is something that one expert had to say this past week, and I thought this was pretty good. He says, even if you don't believe this virus will hurt you, it could hurt somebody. And he goes on to say, Omicron might not be as deadly as Delta, but consider what 1 million positive cases could do. It would close schools, it would hurt jobs, and it would wreak havoc on our hospitals. If you are not going to get vaccinated, that's up to you. But please do your part and mask up. Now, the reason why I want to bring that up to you is because I'm pro-choice. If you want to get vaccinated, great. I'm vaccinated. If you do not want to get vaccinated, that's on you. Okay? It's your choice. But here's the thing, and I thought this was very important. And again, these vaccines are not going to 100% protect you from the Omicron variant or even Delta, but they could help. But even though the vaccines are not going to be 100% effective, masking up, social distancing, if you do have a cold, don't go into work. If your child does have a sniffle, runny nose, whatever, don't send them to school. Just be prepared, right? That's really it. And I just wanted to leave you with that because I thought that was a pretty good statement. Is even if you do not believe this will hurt you, it could hurt somebody, and it may not be health-wise. It could be financially. They may not be able to go into work because their kid now has to stay home. They may not be able to go into work because they are not feeling good, right? Their business closed because other people contracted the virus. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.